Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stealthy Elf Productions. We are going to be playing some Pathfinder 2nd Edition for you tonight. This is our Heroes of Histaeria campaign. This is Unearthed Inheritance. We are back with our first session of 2025. Now, before we jump in, we're going to say hello to our players. Let's start with... What's the order on the screen? I don't have the stream pulled up.
It's Adam.
It's Adam. We're going to start with Adam.
This is me. Hello, I'm Adam, or Mr. Adup. That's M-R-A-D-D-U-P, he, they pronouns. I voice act. I cosplay. I play TTRPGs. You can find me here, currently playing. You can also find me in the future on Tales Archived, playing in a Pirates game. Do I have to answer the question now?
Yes.
Is that
the
okay.
question is...
I've never been asked a question, so what's the question?
Sorry. Yeah. So we're gonna ask a question of all our characters just to get to know them a little better. Adam, and all of you, what is your character's favorite smell?
Taruk's favorite smell is the smell after rain.
Lovely.
Petrichor.
I was
There
expecting
goes
something
Petrichor.
funny, so I put funny music on. Let me go back. Glory.
Hang on, Adam, say it over again.
Taruk is
we're
funny?
trained.
Since when? So Taruk's favorite smell is rotten bananas.
Now I have to go back to comedic.
I don't know what to talk about.
How about we move on to Button, who they're playing, and what their character
Moving on.
smell
Jesus
is.
Christ.
Hello, I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media. And when I'm not playing Crest, you can also find me on this channel playing Amanita in New World Rebellion. And when I'm not on this channel, you can find me over on Tales Archived in the Known Realms Telesh campaign and in the upcoming Pirates of the Dual Seas campaign. And it's been a week since it has come out on Numinous Productions. A Haunting Beloved is very gay, very disabled, and I'm very proud of it. Oh, and Cress's favorite scent, ozone.
Okay.
Right on. That's very Cuthbert.
Yeah, exactly. They miss their baby.
Aw.
Okay. Let's see. Alec is next, right?
Yep.
I still
not
have
me.
it pulled up.
That's what it seems to say. Hi, everybody. I'm Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet at Tales Archived. I am playing Finn Reese here for you this evening. When I'm not here, you can find me as the archivist over for Known Realms Telesh on twitch.tv/Tales Archived. And I will also be the captain of Pirates of the Dual Seas coming soon. And also, this coming Friday, January 17th, you can find me playing some Commander to raise money for Trans Lifeline. That will be happening soon. I'll share links on my social, so be sure to follow me there. That's it.
Cool. I guess it's my turn.
Oh,
Hello.
Finn's favorite smell.
Oh, Finn.
Owl shit.
Owl
Yeah.
shit?
Oh, shit.
Straight from the Owl Clan, baby.
Okay.
But no, the real answer is bonfire.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Oh, God, I love that.
It's Hannah's favorite smell.
Okay. I'm Hannah. I'm playing Farron. Farron is a badass elf bitch farmer with a bow. And when I'm not here, I'm playing Piminia Knackle on our sister campaign, Sandsea Saga. Everyone's favorite charming gnome bard and a pathological liar. And then you can also find me over on Tales Archived playing Miso, a chef catfolk person, monk. That's what it is. Words escaped me. Okay. So my favorite scent, or Farron's favorite scent, is currently the top of Tolka's head. Like just taking a big whiff of your dog's head. Oh.
Good answer. See it on the board?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh,
Number
I'm
one.
sorry. I'm sorry. That's not on the board.
Top of Wolf's
Damn
Head.
you, Steve Harvey.
Damn
It's
you,
okay
Harvey.
though. You're gonna be fine in the next round.
Oh my god.
Oh,
All
damn.
right.
Guys, we're goofy tonight.
Yeah.
We are goofy.
It's been a
Goof.
while.
Goof. Goof. It's the hats.
Wow.
It's the hats.
All right. It's the hats. And guys, I'm your GM. My name is David. My pronouns are he, him, and you can catch me here as the game master of all of the Heroes of Histaeria campaign games. That's Unearthed Inheritance, Sandsea Saga, and New World Rebellion. You can also catch me making maps here on the channel at times. We started that project. You can also catch me over at Tales Archived when I play Whistle, the Pathfinder. In the Known Realms Slush campaign every Sunday. And then, also, I am one of the crew of our pirate band of misfits. My character, Gin and Tonic, is a changeling bard thief who you should get to know.
My most favorite problem.
That's a big,
Deepest
they're a
enemy.
pretty big problem.
My deepest enemy.
Yeah. It's a very
Spoilers.
interesting group dynamics.
That's not spoilers.
Hey, do you remember the time when?
Do you remember that time?
Actually, if you want a preview of them, go to our
Yeah.
YouTube. There's a
Yeah,
Pirates of the
there you
Dual Sea
go.
session right there on YouTube from as part of ElfCon. Check it out.
What?
Okay. It's
Great
pretty
one.
good. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. All right, guys.
It's all right.
Here we are, session 25. We were back for our first session of 2025, so that's pretty appropriate.
That's
Oh shit, that's the same number.
Everybody
That's the
roll
same
as
number,
many
yeah.
25s as you can tonight.
Sadly, most of the DCs for level 7 characters are 26, so that's going to be pretty unfortunate, guys.
Ooh.
Next year,
Oh,
next
no.
year's going to be your year.
Next year is our year.
Next year, you're still going to be level 7.
We'll be level 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say when we're still level 7.
No, guys, think positive.
And I'm still here.
We're gonna be level 20.
Who's doing our recap tonight?
I got it.
All right, Button. Guys, before we jump into the recap, remember, everybody gets a hero point to start. Button, you'll be getting a bonus hero point for doing the recap.
Wowee! That's actually the one thing I don't know where those are on Demiplane. That's fine. I'll do it later. All right.
It's right next to the rest button.
They might
Oh,
be,
thank
if you have the mythic stuff in, might be mythic points.
It does say mythic, which is why I was confused. Okay. All right. Last we left off, Anatole, Farron, Taruk, Tulka, and I returned to the site of the battle with the seaweed monsters to find Pascal had arrived, along with my darling hippogriffs Bluesy, Cherry, Ivory, and Orange. Finn, Zin, and Chimney seemed tense, probably because Pascal's hobby is making other people tense. Still, it was a welcome reunion. He was a welcome sight, despite everything. Knowing that there are those who remain from Zeladil, knowing Anatole has a loyal retinue, is a relief. In greeting, and to help mitigate the damage done by those creatures from the shipwreck, I brought a pool of the ocean beneath the surface up to the sands. For a precious hour, Anatole, Pascal, and I could pretend we were home again. For home remains deep beneath our feet. Finn approached the pool with remarkable care, and it was a sight to see. As was Pascal's interest in Farron, as was Taruk's interest in Bully and Pascal. We spent the hour healing, and then we were informed that we have a new home in the Sky Citadels. You heard me right. Home. As we landed from flight, Anatole told me his home is mine if I'll have it. I hadn't really believed that could happen until that moment. Anatole's not like his father, though, and there's a depth of his grace and generosity that somehow extended to me. Anatole looks upon the lowest and raises them high. Speaking of being raised high, Finn can fly. He looks majestic doing so, as long as he isn't overthinking it. It's a marvel and a terror, knowing that both Finn and Anatole have entities granting them that power. It makes me wonder what these dragons gain in return. Zephrine seems to want to be released, but if Anatole and Finn released their dragons, I don't know what would become of these two men. And I fear for them. My immediate fear for Taruk, Rad, and Bluesy kept those deeper fears at bay in the moment, but they're resurfacing anew now. During our flight, I told Anatole all I knew about the aboliths and the theft of the ocean, Thadril's rebirth at Dwag, the Tree of Worlds, and my doubts about that god. Anatole told me there's a council of some sort that knew Thadril was unjust, that he remembers the Brotherhood of the Gilded Cannon via previous incarnations of the Red Dragon masks who were killed by them. Zin will tell me more about that situation, and Draconism, and Tiamat, about which I'm not nervous at all. But I am getting ahead of myself and I scrolled too far. We arrived at the Citadel, home now only to a single giant named Axne. Taruk is not a fan of the Flying Fortress, but gods, I love it. Jimmy even gifted me a cloak of this place that'll keep me aloft and protect me if I fall, either from the back of Cuthbert or from the ledge of the Citadel itself. He gave us all a bevy of gifts because he's a sweetheart. Axne gave us a tour of the Citadel while Anatole slept, a necessity in response to the draining presence of his dragon. We met Zephyr the Falcon and Veritas the Rock in the aviary, and the feeling of home sunk into my skin. Then we got down to business. Taruk and Farron explained that the monsters from the shipwrecks are victims of the Council of Malstru's agents in the Black Reef, where Taruk's loved ones are being held. We all reconvened. I provided a full scout report for Anatole and Pascal, including the positions of the Axumat vessels and the existence of the hole in the world where the oceans have been drained. Then we came up with a plan. We will return to Damarel to gather our allies. We will approach the Asturians in pursuit of an alliance, and we will do our utmost to infiltrate the Black Reef, to free Taruk's loved ones, to pursue the Everseed for Farron with Finn's Jotunblood abilities, to thwart the Council of Malstru's experiments on the prisoners, and learn more of their plans for the surface. Then Anatole, in his wisdom, his strength, and the pursuit of freedom from those who would ensnare and destroy the denizens of Histaeria, Anatole declared war upon the Axiomites and the Aboliths who stole the oceans and called destruction upon the surface of our world. If we succeed, then we can pursue Anatole's dream of the Bree and Terra with the aid of the Asturians, with the aid of all our new friends. We will liberate our world from those who invaded, one small step at a time.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Button. That was perfect recap. Excellent job. Okay. Oh. I almost feel like 1 hero point's not enough, but I'm gonna temper myself. Okay, you guys, we are gonna pick up with you still on the Sky Citadel. It is en route to Damarel. Anatole having given the order to Axne, who is, set to readjust. You guys are welcome to explore the Sky Citadel at your leisure on the journey. Otherwise, if you've got nothing, we'll pick up in Damarel as the Sky Citadel flies over.
Is Anatole still asleep?
No, so this is like just after the meeting. If you would like to speak with him, he's available like just post meeting. But he will be going back to resting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Finn can catch him, that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Finn, the meeting is kind of breaking up. Folks are going their separate ways. The order has been given. The Sky Citadel's destination is to be set. Mm-hmm. Anatole is backing away from the table and declares to the room, "All right, wake me up when we get to Damarel."
If you wouldn't mind, Anatole, could I have a...
He stops and looks you up and down. Yeah, I suppose we ought to get to know one another.
It seems appropriate given the certain current circumstances.
Would you like to escort me to my chambers? Finn, was it?
Finn it is, yes. And yeah, I think Finn will walk alongside Anatole in the Sky Citadel, and there's an obvious line of questioning that is to be discussed between these two, but I think kind of deep within Finn's core, there is a divergent line of questioning that he feels a pretty strong draw toward. And much like his conflict between his Jotun blood heritage and Zephrine within him, there's an uncomfortable 10 seconds of silence as this walk begins, where Finn's not wholly sure what he wants to talk about in the moment. And I think he just kind of kicks himself. And so when did you discover that you had an aspect of Tiamat within you?
Well, I discovered that in my second life. That's the way I think about it. I had died. Was betrayed, you see. Kind of pulls, that way he doesn't have a shirt, but kind of gestures to the cross-shaped scar. And one of the wounds along it, you can kind of see 3, almost little points kind of along the line. Yeah. And he points to him and says, trident right through the back.
It's a hell of a way to go. I apologize for the pain that must have caused.
It was quick. I don't remember much, honestly. I looked down, saw the tines, and then... But the rest of it, that happened after I was brought back. My friends, Chimney, Zin, and Pascal, they took me to see a coven of... They took my body to a coven of witches. And they brought me back. This is before I woke and started having these dreams, visions of a red dragon. I started hearing voices. And by the time I woke up, well, a few changes here and there. But as I started to listen to the voices, well, that's when those changes became a bit more permanent. He looks at you. As he says this to you, and he looks at you, and he looks at your horn, the scales on your face. You hear voices too, Finn?
I hear voices in the rattles of chains of old. And well, both paths feel as if they will lead to my undoing. But how, I do not know. Of the Owl clan in the Nexenkov. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the surface world prior to the last wave, but I assume you know as much as I, if not more, your grand wisdom, your majesty.
You give me far too much credit. I'm afraid I don't know your tribe. My education, much like my death, did not take.
We're isolated to the northernmost mountains. We're humble fishermen. My father, the chieftain, I, his son, said to take his place, but...
Well, that's something we got in common then.
It is. But I,
amongst other things.
Amongst other things. What does... Finn's in this moment kind of discovering, like, oh man, there's a pattern to my history here. I seek out responsibility, but in lieu of that responsibility, I run to another. Being named the chieftain's heir, Finn will take that responsibility, but then he left home.
Yeah.
And then Finn became a shipwright on a vessel that lost its way in the last wave, and then he ran to the Ironwood. And he was its protector, its carpenter. And then he met Cress. And another responsibility called him, and he left. Is Finn called to honor, or is he driven to run by cowardice? He's unsure at this point. Is there something within him that can't commit to one honor that he has bound himself to? Is there a need to run? But that's not the point of this conversation. Is he just kind of Anatole sees he sort of his thumb traces two stones saddled to his waist belt, and he just, if I can ask, what is the name of your dragon? Not your dragon, the dragon within you. I have little understanding of how to refer to it.
Dragon that dwells within me is named Viraxis.
Viraxis. Mine is Zephrine. And how do you get on with Viraxis?
Truth be told, Viraxis doesn't say much when I'm awake. But God does not shut up when I am sleeping. Is keen on teaching me things. Wants to show me. I think Viraxis seeks to learn from their mistakes. Sees each incarnation as a new opportunity.
How unfortunately refreshing that is. Zephrine is a bit more locked into the old ways. Dragons being on top, having their power. Driving me to revel in self-isolation and anger and rage and hate.
Sounds like Zephrine does not like you very much, Finn.
Nor do I like her very much. But she has saved the life of Farron, the life of Tolka, the life of Taruk, the life of... And he savors Cress's name as it leaves him. And I don't know. I think it's, given that Anatole is Cress's best friend, I'm gonna say it's pretty clear that he utters that name with a hell of a lot of reverence. I continue to think that I can learn a lot from you, and I am more intent on resisting my draconic aspect than it seems you are, and I don't judge you for it. These have come out in moments of action, moments of wanting to protect. But it's clear, given your sleep schedule, that they might take a toll.
There are things that one needs to learn to adapt to in the pursuit of reassurance. Now, I don't know Zephrine, obviously, but I will say this. These dragons are powerful creatures. And they can be useful. I think you've seen that yourself. Looks, kind of glances at the wings. Make friends with the voice in your head, Finn.
That voice in my head almost made me harm Cress. I do not want to give Zephrine that much leeway, because I don't trust her. and I don't trust myself when she is in control.
Well, sounds like in the end, you just got to get stronger one way or another.
That's fair enough. Well, your room awaits, King of the Sand Sea.
I'll see you when we get to Damarel. Fenris, have a pleasant afternoon.
I hope Virexi's is quieter in your dreams. Finn will kind of walk off.
Sure. Okay. Rest of the party. Who's up to what?
I would like to approach Taruk. Where are you, my friend?
I think Taruk is probably heading back to the atrium because this place feels the most comfortable on this ship.
Yeah, right there with you. In fact, I think maybe Farron was just heading there anyway and sees you there. Yeah.
Just going on all fours.
Mind if I offer you some company?
Oh, right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm just going to the atrium. I don't know. Were you heading the same place as I was? Or?
Indeed.
Oh,
It's,
great. Of course.
There's something about it. It feels like a safe space, does it not?
Yeah, not like we're hundreds upon hundreds of feet in the air and could fall out of the sky literally at the drop of a hat. See what I did there?
I do. It was a joke.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm well. How are you?
That's a loaded question today, if I'm being honest with you. But I'm holding it together, I think is probably the best I could say. I definitely need some rest soon, because my body hurts. But I'm around.
I've been thinking about the circumstances you are in. Your friends being taken from you. Your family, really. I'm very sorry that you are under those circumstances.
I appreciate that. It's not been easy, but you just put one foot in front of the other until you're at your destination. That's the way that I always like to see it. But I feel lucky because I get to put my hands there too.
Taruk, have I ever told you about...
Alec figured out because he walks on his hands.
Funny. Another joke. Good one.
Yes.
Taruk, did I ever tell you about my family? What happened to them?
You didn't. I didn't want to pry in the old days. I tend to let people tell me what they need to tell me, which is usually a lot, but I never felt like prying with you.
Well, I'd like to tell you if you're open to hearing a story.
Absolutely.
Farron kind of takes a gulp, like this is a very uncomfortable thing to talk about. When I was very young, my parents and younger brother were brutally murdered. I was out hunting one day and I came back to find them. The anger that I felt And the thirst for vengeance. I'll never forget that. I feel it still to this day. I wanted nothing more than to find the man who gave the orders. So I tracked him down. Found him in Azafast. I went to his home and lingered for a while outside his kitchen window, looking in, trying to decide if I should do what I went there to do. After some time, I gathered my courage, knocked an arrow, and shot through the window. The arrow went straight through his head, and he died upon impact. It was then that I noticed his family. His children found him. I ran. I was afraid of being caught, but mostly afraid of being confronted by those children. It brought me no peace to take his life. I don't think I've ever told anyone that.
No, I appreciate being the first. And Taruk stands at his full height and puts his arms out to bring you into an embrace, and just kind of hold you in this moment of vulnerability, understanding that kinship that they now have.
She reciprocates and wipes a tear and just says, I wanted to share that with you because I know what you're feeling deeply. And I know it's not an easy decision to make, but I support you. You're my friend. You're my family, in fact. And I support you, whatever you decide to do. But I caution you. Do you understand?
Appreciate that very much. I do. You shared a personal story, and I would like to do the same if you have the space for that, of course.
A story for a story.
So, I've told you before that I developed these abilities of mine when I was quite young. I was around 18 or so, and I decided to not follow what I should have been doing, and being an elder at 18 is unheard of in our village. I was the first ever. And I decided I was going to travel around the Ironwood and do some more land surveillance instead of protecting the city. And I never explained what the incident was when I was 18, but you are the first person outside of our village to hear it. There is a phenomenon known in the in the Ironwood, known as a rust raid. It's essentially a roaming pack of rust monsters come and kind of eat anything in sight, usually trees because of the iron in the bark, and it can be dangerous, and we've gotten used to them over the years. And well, I was 18. I was a kid, and I didn't get back when I said I was going to be, and I remember the sun was setting, and that's when I saw part of the city had fallen. Friends, family, torn up, because I wasn't there. You are one of the rare people who got to see my village for all of this, and do you know why they don't respect me? Because of that moment in my life, when I wasn't there. And now the person that I love and my best friend were taken because I wasn't there. So, I understand where you come from, and I know that putting this person out of their misery may not be the best choice, but it might be the only choice I have, if I'm being honest with you. And I promise, and I mean this, and I meant this when I said it, I promise to hear them out. And I think you see a look in Taruk that you haven't seen, which is guilt and utter seriousness. For all of his jokes, I think this moment makes you realize he is masking this guilt that he feels his whole life. Is in this moment of he has felt this guilt for letting everyone down, and now he has journeyed across half the world to prove that he isn't going to be guilty anymore. And I think you kind of see him deflate a little bit as this proud person to being a little bit more vulnerable for the first time and truthfully vulnerable with you, I think. But I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm sorry for your family and your guilt.
It was a long time ago.
So was mine.
Well, I just want you to know that because of what I've experienced and because of my close relationship with you, the choice is entirely yours, and you will receive no judgment from me, no matter what.
I appreciate that, and know that if you need to step in and stop me from doing something stupid, there's no judgment from my end. I do stupid things all the time. And
Yes.
I think, because how tall is Farron again?
She's like 5'10".
I think fully, like, Taruk pats you on the head, but because he has the big hands, it's like your full head is getting patted. Like, he's like, I'm sorry, I always forget different size. Never mind. We can. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I'm gonna go in the atrium and probably go to sleep for a little bit. I'm very tired. My body really hurts.
Sounds like you need to rest. I will accompany you, but I will not disturb you. I just plan to be amongst the birds.
Oh, I'm gonna be up in the trees, so no problem for me.
All right.
I love you, Farron.
I love you too, Taruk. And I sincerely hope you find what you're looking for. Really.
To you. He just walks off. Farron.
Two of you continue your journey to the little a little forest in the sky. Hero points to both of you. That was beautiful. Great job.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other scenes while we're making our way to Damarel?
Cress will take out their magical crafting and alchemical formulas, and they will sort of walk beside Pascal as everyone is splitting off into different directions and say, nothing. Oh, what?
Can I describe what Pascal's doing as you're talking to him?
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
As you guys are like walking away and you're trying to talk to Pascal, he is watching Farron walk away with Taruk. And you can tell as you're starting to speak, he is absent-mindedly listening to you as he is watching Farron.
Oh. Gonna come back to my question a bit. You like her?
What was that? Sorry. Did you say
Don't
something? Chris?
apologize. You like her?
Your friend Farron?
Yeah.
Well, she is rather attractive, I must say.
Yes, she is.
Do you know her situation?
If she's spoken for, she hasn't said a lick of anything about anyone. She's a bit of a wanderer.
Well, I'd very much like to get to know her better.
First thing you're gonna need to do, and Cress pulls out some like dog treats. You're gonna have to get over your hate for animals. You put the dog treats into his hand because she loves her dog, Tolka.
I had noticed the beast hanging around.
You also
These
can't
will-
call Tolka a beast.
But that's what he is. Is he not?
You're taxonomically, yes. But you can't call her that to Farron.
I understand. She'd find it a bit insulting.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Thank you for the advice, Chris. I appreciate it. Seems
think-
like you're...
No, sorry.
It says, it seems your scouting ability is useful to others, not just the king.
Honestly, Farron's is better. Another thing you can tell her. But I appreciate that. I am sorry. I'm sorry that I was so defensive around you that there was no room to be proper allies.
Pascal looks at you and says, well, if it's apologies we're sharing, I suppose I, for my part, was not the most welcoming. And
Chris sort of leans back. Oh. He
I apologize.
apologizes?
He does.
Cress had gone to like lean back, their posture very casual, looking at Farron and Taruk heading toward the aviary, not expecting that apology at all. As they hear it, they sort of, their breath catches and they look at Pascal. Think just evident shock, quickly replaced by appreciation.
world has changed around us, Chris. I believe Anatole wants to create a new world, a new thing for all of us. And I don't think we should be carrying the animosity of the old one into the new.
That's very wise. And I'm in agreement. They hold out a hand to shake.
Before he shakes your hand, he says, "There is one more thing I must apologize to you for.
What's that?
We both love him dearly. And he fell on my watch.
Pascal. I don't think that's your fault. From what I gather, the fault lies with people who I should have known better than to trust as well.
Finally, he reaches over and takes your hand, doesn't quite make eye contact with you, but shakes your hand. Cleantha's ambitions are dangerous. I knew she'd wanted more, but I had not expected the lengths that she would be willing to go for it.
Did she? And I think Cress's expression mirrors Pascal's. I think more than mirrors it, there is an unmasked rage at the mention of their half-sister. Her ambitions. You know, I thought she really cared about it.
She tricked us both in that regard.
Did she say what she wanted?
Power. It was a dispute over power. Our enemy was closing in around Zeladil. The city was under siege often. And then the Tritons came with their creature. The Ashlock, they called it. A giant crab with a shell on its back. It was carrying all manner of peoples, all manner of sea-dwelling peoples upon it, some kind of ark. And the Triton King offered our people sanctuary if we forsake our own throne and fall under his banner. Well, now that didn't sit too kindly with Anatole.
No.
But Cleantha, she saw an opportunity. She betrayed Anatole, and now she stands at the Triton King's side.
Oh, damn her. And Titus?
Titus, for his part, I don't believe he knows. I tried to convince him that Anatole was betrayed on the battlefield, that it wasn't the Brahm that struck him down, but that it was King Vilrulu.
He didn't believe it?
He didn't believe it. See, Cleantha and King Vilrulu, well, they said something else. Titus believed that, I suppose with Anatole's death, my influence also expired.
You brought him back.
With the help of Zin and Chimney, yeah. I'd met
Titus.
someone. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Go.
No. Crest does like. Sorry, no.
No. No, please, you. Zelodiel's actually very Midwestern nice.
Yeah. Titus is a fool.
Agreed. But I believe that Zelodiel has been, that with Anatole's death and our escape from the city, that Titus and Cleantha led everyone onto the Ashlock and that the city's been abandoned.
I do not blame a people who think their king is dead for good, for seeking sanctuary. But I do blame their leaders. You said you'd met someone?
Remind me? Sorry, above table.
When Anatole died.
Oh, yeah. I'd met someone years ago, before any of this. A witch. She belonged to a rather powerful coven, and when Anatole died, that's who we sought out. The Fate Coven. They were able to resurrect him.
Incredible.
Well, Chris, you're not the only one that makes friends outside of home.
Oh, I know, you're a side better at it than me.
Well, I don't know about that. You've got quite a company with you now. That Jotunblood with you.
Yes, Finn.
Well, I couldn't help but notice he had certain features quite similar to His Majesty.
Yes. Yeah, they're both masks.
These masks, yeah, I've heard Zin talk about these incarnations of dragons.
That's right. So, did you not how I'm curious. Zin's talked about him. And I mean, you've seen the manifestations and you know Anatole's schedule. Does Anatole's dragon want to be free like Finn's?
I had not thought of it in terms of imprisonment and freedom. See, Anatole's experience has been, you can tell Pascal's mood shifts here, going from kind of the curious talker to, you can sense some concern underlying
Yeah.
the voice. It seems that, well, sometimes I feel like there's less and less of him in there each day when he awakens.
What do you mean?
It's like there's Anatole, but then at times there's just like there's someone else in there, I see it in the way he watches certain things, like he's seen it before, or that it's inferior to him. There's certain times he's just not himself. But Anatole explained to me this dragon within him, and sometimes I wonder if that's who I'm seeing in those moments. Anatole's body, but not Anatole's soul.
That is extremely disturbing. Cress remembers when Finn, not seemingly of his own volition, attacked them, or began to. And I think Pascal can see Cress thinking back on a moment.
You have seen it.
Yeah. Just for an instant, and Finn was so sorry. And I'm fine, but we need to know more. We need to know how these dragons came to be chained, why these lineages have them. It seems not coincidental that the 3 dragon masks I'm aware of all come from noble lineages. Perhaps there was some sort of pact between those who wished to keep Tiamat at bay.
Pascal says, well, I suggest you talk to Zin. They were a monk. They were a Draconist monk before they were excommunicated.
Yeah, but that's a story.
A rather violent one, yes. But that's their story to tell you.
I'll ask them.
As for these dragon masks, how they come to possess their hosts, well, sure enough as you, I've got no idea. Cress, can I get a perception check, please?
Yeah. Okay. First roll of 2025.
Oh my god, guys, is this our first roll of the game?
Get
We've been an hour in.
It is.
Just
We're just talking.
11 plus 15 is 26.
Ooh.
26? 26 is pretty good. Let me just take a look at something. With the 26, you get the sense that Pascal is not telling you everything. There's a sense he's keeping something close to the chest. There's something about the way Pascal, the way he suddenly won't meet your eyes. You can tell that something just gives you the inkling that perhaps he knows more than he is letting on right now.
Yeah. And I think there was a time where Cress would just react in anger and call Pascal out. But Cress is in this feeling of having finally reconnected with home, and I think is empathizing with Pascal and Pascal's need to protect Anatole. And so instead of just calling Pascal out on bullshit, they'll give him a nod. Well, if you end up learning anything else, or theorizing, if anything comes to you, all I want to do is protect Anatole. I don't want to see his soul gone to something else. He's my king. And I'm terrified for him.
Give an idea of the scene here. The two of you walking through the breezeways and passages of the Cloud Citadel. As this conversation's been going on, you find yourselves coming up to the door of Pascal's locked laboratory. And as you say this, Pascal, making his way towards the door, stops. And for a moment, his hand lingers in the air above the doorknob, and you can see Cress just in the profile view. He's fighting with whether or not to say something. But something inside him wins. A decision is made, he turns to you and he says, "Rest assured, Cress, if and when I learn anything, you will be amongst the first to know." With your previous success, you know that that is not the truth.
It's a very generous thing to say.
Well, like we said, the end of the world changes people. Maybe I'm becoming a bit more generous.
We have not just become, we are becoming. The hope to become someone who deserves your trust. Because like you said, we both love him.
It hits him. He says, yes. If I'll see you in Damarel, Chris. I've got some things to attend to.
All right. And the desire to work with Pascal in his laboratory sort of fades, seeing that he needs to be alone. And so Cress will settle, I think, they'll head to the aviary, just weighing a very complicated relationship, and they'll set about with their formulas and spend the rest of the time starting to work on potions.
Yeah. And I think in that sense, you also, Cress, as you're in that space, in the aviary, you also see Farron and Taruk are both in there. Taruk, you barely see maybe a tail in the upper canopy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you see like one of Taruk's arms and a tail hanging out of a tree in a position that does not look comfortable, but Taruk is out like a light, just snoring in the tree.
And Farron is just kind of like letting birds come and rest on her fingertips and sings to them and then sends them off, kind of walking around the ancient rock and just enjoying the birds.
Cress will sit down, get a stone bench, and just whistle, kind of watching Farron as they set up their alchemy tools. And as they whistle, I think a wild song about just finding the prettiest rose in a garden if I may, there's this moment where they all circle around Farron, just this sudden flush around this woman in green with red hair, the prettiest rose in the garden. And just smiling, they'll wink at Farron.
She smiles back.
Finn, you, after your discussion with the King of the Sand Sea, did you get up to anything in particular?
Let me see.
Because otherwise, I'd be happy to place you somewhere.
You can, place me. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna pick Finn up.
Pick me up like a little baby and
we're
drop
just
me
gonna,
wherever you
if
desire.
If you can imagine The Sims.
I was literally
right
thinking
now.
of like a claw game from like a Walmart. Like,
Yeah. Okay, Finn, your wanderings around the Sky Citadel are. I don't know what's on. I won't presume to know what's on Finn's mind as your discussion has been had with the king, and it leaves you feeling how you feel. And as you're walking around here, you're passing, again, a marvel of giant architecture, right?
Yeah.
A cloud giant sky citadel. This is the kind of thing Finn, maybe a young Finn, would have been dreaming about.
Mm-hmm.
The mists perpetually just kind of wafting at your feet, and as you step, it creates these little pools. It kind of echoes away from you as you step. The stone, a perfectly polished black and blue stone that looks far too heavy to be up as high as it is. And there's a breeze. Just a constant breeze that just kind of swirls and twirls your hair. And as you're walking around and you look into the stone, you can see your reflection. And in that black and blue stone, maybe it's something about the blue stone that accents the blue scales on your face and the horn protruding from your head. And Finn, I will say, as you look at yourself, I don't know when the last time Finn saw his reflection was, but I imagine
It's been a minute.
been a minute.
He didn't have wings. He didn't have a horn. He didn't have scales. It's been a minute.
Give me that reaction. Give us that reaction. Share with us Finn's thoughts as he looks and almost sees a stranger staring back at him in the stone.
I think in this moment, Finn is subjected to the same reaction that so many others offered him once he was cursed by the aboleth. He looks and his breath catches. That's exactly it. He doesn't recognize that person. And I think the words that he spoke to Anatole about both paths that seem to dance within his soul lead to the undoing of him, the person he always imagined he'd be. And it's not a confirmation by any means, but like, man, it gives him a moment of pause when he sees what he looks like, where he's just like, the first thing he thinks of is how his family would react. I think he sees disappointment from his father. I think he sees
More than normal.
Far more than normal. I mean, this was a divine responsibility placed upon Finn's shoulders by his father. And yet again, this titan of a man has fallen short. And once again, he is not strong enough to lift that weight. His sister is terrified of the man that her brother has become. And I think he sees deep sadness from his grandmother, who always lauded his gentleness, who always told him that was the part of himself to cherish. And now he's so rough.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's the reaction is one that is just shock, and he's not disappointed in himself because he didn't ask for any of this. He didn't ask to have Zephrine bonded to his soul. He didn't ask to be the chieftain's son. He didn't ask to bear powers that could help save an entire batch of wildlife. In that reflection, Finn finds an answer to the question he had asked himself. In this moment, he believes that he is a coward. And in this moment, he believes that he runs from the responsibilities placed upon him. And that this is punishment. This is penance.
And as you watch your reflection and you see the mark of exile on your cheek,
Mm-hmm.
and this penance, this feeling of penance hits you. You hear the chains rattling in your head. You hear a growl that kind of rolls into words. And you hear the voice of Zephrine. If you choose to honor your inheritance, boy, then these chains bind you just as much as they do me. You think you're a monster?
No, I don't. I think you're the monster. And if these chains that bind my soul with such heaviness keep you in place, then I will happily bear them. Because I don't trust you. The things you've drawn me to do will have made me a monster.
Then you are a fool, Fenris. If you deny this power, then you will watch your friends fall.
Well, then you will watch as I do everything I can to keep them from falling. Everything in the power that I have to keep them up. Not because of you, but in spite of you. I might think I'm weak, I might think I'm a coward, I might think all of these things about myself, but you know what? Nobody else sees them in me. You're the only one that does. You're the only one that preys upon it. And Finn firmly grasps the stones on his hip. I might look like this, and frankly, kind of handsome this way. It's a little roguish, a little different than normal. But I am not a monster. You are a monster. And this is one of very few times, I think, where Finn has not just embodied his father's strength, but has made it his own.
As you grab onto that strength and you push back, you're able to quell the draconic presence in your head. The chains, the rattling stops, the voice subsides as it kind of growls, defeated, and it slinks back into the shadows of your soul. And you turn the corner around this reflection, looking past, you see Cress whistling, you see birds circling Farron, and you see somehow Taruk seems comfortable in his loft. And as the party rejoins together, I think that's where we're going to call our break for tonight. We're about an hour and 15 minutes in. It's been a lot of really good roleplay, guys. You're killing it. All right. So, folks, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. We will see you here. Go stretch your legs, get a drink of water, let your dogs out, do whatever you got to do, and we'll be back in a moment.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Oh dear.
Hey, everybody.
There we go.
Welcome back.
We're not back yet.
Are we back?
Now
We're
we're
good.
back.
Yeah, we're there.
Now we're back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. All right. This is session 25 of Unearthed Inheritance, Heroes of Histaeria campaign. It's a post-apocalyptic homebrew world. If you're just joining us, the party is on their way in a cloud giant sky citadel floating towards the town of Damarel. They've all just had a little bit of reaction to the King of the Sand Seas declaration of war. You guys are, unless there's anything else anybody wants to get to while we are making the trip over, it's not going to be long. This is not a long trip, so like maybe I'll
How
tell
long
you the
is
time.
it?
Yeah, it's about 2 hours.
Okay. How many miles are we covering in that time?
You cover in like
Make the DM do math.
12 miles, 12, 15 miles ish.
Okay, so we could get to the Asturians very quickly too, because they're 24. I think my notes are 25.
Yeah, 24-ish miles to the
From Damarel to the Asturians.
Brion Terra. The Asturians are up in the Iron Hills, which is across the dunes. So 24 to the dunes, and then dunes to the Asturians. Give me 1 sec. Let me just do a quick pull up here.
The dunes.
That's not the song. Okay, let's see. All right, guys. Ready for some math?
Sorry
Math.
to make you do
No,
math.
you're good.
Hit
You're
us
good.
with the math.
Oh yeah, brother. Dave, I almost said
12
something stupid.
12 times
Jesus.
6 is 72. About roughly 72, 75 miles from Damarel to the Asturians, who are in the Iron Hills.
Okay, 72 miles, which is 6 hours, you said?
7.
I'm dumb.
No, you guys are doing these 12 miles in about 2 hours.
Okay.
So about 7
Yeah.
hours to get
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
We're going at 6 miles per hour. Sorry, my brain did the thing and I did math.
I don't have a. I don't actually have
no,
a Sky
that's-
Citadel ship block. Ship
That's
stat block.
Shit block.
Deeply
Get shit on.
I'm gonna call them ship
Unfortunate.
blocks from now on.
another ship block. No, I was trying to guesstimate how long. So we could like get to the Asturians and back like well within a day though.
Yeah,
Not necessarily
assuming-
2 day because I don't know
Yeah.
what time it is, but
It's about 4-ish in afternoon if you were tracking with traditional clock. It still looks twilight in the sky.
yeah.
Permanent afternoon, or sorry, permanent like dawn.
Mhm.
But that's where you'd kind of be at in like the cycle of a day.
Awesome. And if we've traveled for 2 hours, crafting potions, I think it's taken like 4 hours in the past, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
you can-
Can I
we
like do
can-
half of it?
I was gonna say, yeah, you can like prep stuff because I think in a work day doesn't have to be consecutive. Like you can start
Awesome.
projects and stuff. Especially now
Okay.
too, with the Citadel acting kind of like a home base. I'm totally fine with you like leaving projects half finished, right? It's not like you're remaking your setup each time, right?
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Chimney and Zin will totally set you up with like a little workbench in the aviary if you want. And in the next couple hours, they'll bring up a table, put it in a corner on the side, and yeah, you prep your stuff, prep your
Okay.
lab.
Awesome. I think the only thing. Well, how visible? What is Finn looking like? As we take stock of everyone in this space.
That's
Mhm.
a great. Yeah. Sorry.
Bless you.
I knew I had a cheese cough coming, so I didn't want to get like right into a description and then.
I'm sorry, did you say cheese cough?
Yeah, dude.
Like a
It's all
cough
cheese
from
cough.
eating cheese?
Yeah, it's the fromage.
Yeah, okay. I've just never heard that phrase. I
Yeah.
like it though.
That's a double entendre because it's phlegm and fromage in French is cheese.
Oh my god. I
It's
love it
so
more
funny
now.
when you have to
Double
explain the
entendre?
joke. Anyway, wait.
Omelette du fromage.
Entendre?
I'm gonna do a flip. Finn looks.
It has a cheesecloth.
To a flip.
Yeah. He has a smile on his face, but I think it is very clear that there is still like a small weight on the shoulders. Like it's not like Finn is pretending that he's fine. I think he is like feeling bolstered after his engagement with Zephrine and like all of that. But yeah, I think there's still some stuff weighing on him.
Hey, come here.
Okay.
Also, too, Chris, and you would have seen Finn and Anatole walk off together as well.
Yeah.
So you do know they
Okay.
had an interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. He comes up and sits down and just, what are you working on?
I'm working on potions. Cress will lean and put a hand on his shoulder and then pat his shoulder. You carrying the world on these?
I always do. I think it's the burden of my people.
Oh.
I read a story of someone called Atlas, and he's just got the whole thing up there.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
Yeah. Not the whole world. I just weighing some decisions and very curious about the intentions in the Ironwood. Ended up talking more about our draconic aspects with Anatole. Still didn't bring me much ease there.
What do you feel unease about? Is it Zephrine or is it something else? You said the Ironwood.
It's both. Sorry, I'm talking about two different things. Regarding the dragons, Zephrine did her normal shtick of trying to get me to succumb, and I didn't. He flexes and then like immediately regrets it. And Anatole said that his wants to learn from the past, and I don't think he has bad intentions, your friend, but I fear that given what I've experienced, manipulation might be at play. You've seen it. I mean, there are moments where I'm not myself. Moments where control over the host is exercised. So I sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just hearing the same from Pascal.
How do you feel about that? I know I can see how much you love him. That has to be worrisome.
I don't want either of you going anywhere. Dragon may be plenty fine company, may not be, but I'm not interested in it. I'm interested in you.
Pats. Is their hand still on his shoulder?
Yeah.
I think he just takes it. I think he fully interlocks fingers and just sort of squeezes. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here with you.
I will not let them use you or Anatole. If there's using to be done, it's going to be you and Anatole doing it, not the other way around.
On that, you and I agree.
Hear that, Zephrine?
Do you hear that, Zephrine? And I cannot lie. I'm shaken by the thought of needing that much sleep.
Yeah.
These ill effects, and I see them as ill effects. I will be quite plain with you. They give me more pause than I already had, which was quite a bit of pause.
I don't want to make assumptions about The dragon within Anatole. I don't want to make assumptions about the dragon within Verania. But I want to know more. So I think after this collection of all our allies in Damarel, maybe we talk to Zin.
I'd like that very much. We're very similar in wanting as many answers as we can get in the moment.
I got questions.
I also have questions, and unfortunately, that's going to be Zin's problem.
I don't think they'll mind.
I don't think so. Zin is quite generous with their time. But regarding your other question about the Ironwood, I didn't feel the resounding excitement that everybody else did during the declaration. I absolutely want to take the fight to the Aboleth, to this group that wholly altered our world.
Yeah.
But I worry. Something Safrine said to me swims in my mind when we talk about power and the exchange of it. She's made it quite clear that she wants the dragons to rule the world again. It's not lost on me that I am the son of a chieftain. I would have immense power over a lot of people, as would a king. Maybe powers that dragons would want if they were to slyly return to this world in a major way. Because it is not lost on me that, to use your words, the masks are being used. And
Reclamation is not.
Go ahead, sorry.
Reclamation is not tyranny.
No, it is not. I agree with you. I am also protective of the Ironwood, and when Anatole said that there was something to retrieve there, I know of a lovely little girl with a lot of power.
The little girl we saw?
Yes.
She's not in the Briantera Basin, is she? I thought she was safe in the Ironwood.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Anatole said that he had something he wanted to retrieve from the Ironwood, correct?
Yeah. Okay. The Ironwood. So this is where Ironwood region and Ironwood city or town, just for clarification. The Ironwood and the Iron Hills, the Ironwood region, takes up basically the entire eastern coast of the Briantera Basin. So the Ironwood and the Iron Hills overlook that basin. So the Ironwood, the body of water that the Ironwood had a harbor on, that is the Briantera Lagoon. In the Sansi Age, with all the surface water in the world gone, that is now the Briantera Basin. So the Ironwood is quite close. The Ironwood town is quite close to the basin, pretty much coastal to it. But given, again, the siphoning of the sea, the coastline is very, very kind of fucked up. But I don't know. Does that answer the question?
So it stands to reason that Anatole is probably not even talking about the city.
He's probably not talking about the city.
Got it.
He could be talking about Ironwood region, but Hilda Crackhammer, who's the girl you're referencing, she is still in the Ironwood regardless. I mean, That is that is true.
Yeah, I think then Finn will just specifically the bay. Well, then I frankly misunderstood. It seemed I got home. Sorry, go ahead.
No, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't want to land on the conclusion that you're wrong. You know your king far better than I know you. I know him.
I just don't see why. If his dreams are taking him to the Briantera Basin, which I know to have been poisoned between the first and last wave, that's where my mind leaps.
And I trust you. And if that's what he meant by the Ironwood, then that does make all the sense in the world to me.
You could, so to clarify, you can see like the basin from the Ironwood, right?
Yeah.
So in Anatole's visions, when he's describing, is seeing the basin from the perspective of the Ironwood, like he's walking in the Ironwood, looking out over into the basin.
Ironwood, the town, looking out over the basin. Yes?
No, just Ironwood region.
Just Ironwood, okay.
Yeah.
My home.
Yeah.
I understand your trepidation. We have to learn more about these incarnations, see if maybe he's seeing visions of the past. May not even be now that he's looking at.
I think that's fair. I would need to know more, and my intention here is not to sow distrust.
I know. And you're not doing that. I have faith in him and I have faith in you.
Can I ask something cheeky here? How audible is this conversation?
I don't think Cress is being sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's Finn.
Okay. Then, for what it's worth, Taruk, you were taking a nap in the canopy. I'll say, Taruk, you were, at some point, you ever have the moment where you kind of like wake up a little bit and you can kind of overhear Taruk. I'd say Taruk overhears the conversation because he's in the canopy. If you would like, Taruk, that's an option that's available to you. You're muted.
Adam!
I think hearing Ironwood said so many times did like Taruk perked up in the tree.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I think he would perk up at hearing Ironwood. And I think like from the canopy, you all hear, so we're just talking about the Ironwood and I'm not involved. Kind of like my home and everything.
I'm wrong, Taruk. There's truly nothing to concern yourself with.
No, wait, but that's a good point. Taruk, do you have any stories about red dragons sometime in your hometown's past?
I think from the tree tops you hear like, oh shit, and you hear like and then you see the tail hook on a branch and he like lands near you guys. It's like, I'm good, sorry, these trees are a lot smaller than at home. Gotta get used to
terrified, just
sorry birds. And what, so you said like a red dragon? And
yeah, maybe sometime in the past.
David,
any stories of
any of that ring true?
Let's see. Give me a give us a society check. Let's say this is like folklore being passed down. Let's see if
trained in society.
Can I
Are you trained in
aid
society?
since I'm
Yes, I
asking
am.
the question?
I will.
No's valid.
I'm going to allow it because I was actually going to give you a hero point depending on some stuff here because this is actually a really good line of questioning. Some good instincts here. So yes, go. No hero point, but you can aid.
Okay.
So society as well.
Okay, society.
Do you want me to wait to roll?
Yeah. Well, you'll just get a
God,
bonus
so
to
far
your
away.
results. Either +1 or +2.
18 plus what?
That's crazy. I
3,
also rolled an
21.
18 plus 11, so 29 plus
+1 from Button.
1, so 30.
30.
Oh, yeah.
30 is a critical success. With a 30, Taruk, you do recall being a young Venara hanging in ironwood boughs, listening to what was your the elder before you?
Oh God, don't ask me that.
No worries, I got you. Hang on.
My brain fully just blanked as you said what was, and my brain went, I've never played this character before in my entire life, actually. This is my
Auric.
first session. Auric, yeah.
You're listening to Auric tell stories. Right, this big orangutan sitting on an ironwood stump. It's not a stump that was made because somebody chopped down a tree. It's a stump that kind of formed naturally as the tree above it broke off, and it kind of has a very almost throne-like seating to it, and he's crisscross applesauce, the long orangutan arms hanging to the ground still over a pot belly. As he tells you the story, he tells all of you children the stories of a great beast, a giant red beast that did dwell within the Briantera Sea, that was slain over the sea by 7 knights and 7 gold dragons. Your people played their part. This beast, apparently, as Auric tells it, there was once a great volcano that extended from the sea at the center of the basin, and this was the dragon's home. This was the dragon's lair, and from that volcano, the dragon was a tyrant of the Ironwood region and a lot of the surrounding area that is, well, was in the last age the Empire of Dragroth. Your people, along with these golden dragon riders, worked together. A lot of you banded together and managed to overthrow the tyrant, the tyrant dragon.
I think Taruk essentially like starts off with like I never thought it was a dragon, but that makes sense because we were just told it was a giant red beast, and I think he goes into what you just said, David, and I don't want to reiterate it a second time because I will mess it up. So I mean I never saw the dragon, but it is a story that was passed down to me by my mentor.
So maybe when Anatole is dreaming, having these visions of looking down onto the Briantera, maybe he's looking down onto that volcano? That place that used to be a previous incarnation's home?
I'm sorry, what?
Cress will relay all of
Right. So, sorry, Finn, is that also what's happening with you? You have another dragon in your soul. I don't know where it's.
Finn relays.
Okay. Taruk's been up for 10 minutes. And he hasn't.
Farron, you're in the space as well, so you're seeing your party together and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Expositioning with amongst each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, I know my people, and I know they wouldn't.
I'm sorry, guys. Quick timeout. Hannah, your mic is kind of echoey. Is everyone else getting that?
Yeah.
I know it goes away. It's just because I just unmuted it, but
Okay.
it should
Make sure.
be going down now.
It is.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Okay.
So,
Continue.
if I'm understanding correctly, Anatole is kind of combined with Big Dragon, who terrorized my people, and he wants to go back there?
He's being told by dreams to go to the Brian Terra.
By the dragon whose soul is bound to his soul.
So, we shouldn't go there.
Does he
Maybe-
trust this dragon within him in a way that is different than your situation, Finn?
That is the impression I got.
Okay.
Is that he trusts the intent of Varaxes.
Well, just gonna throw it out there, was a tyrant to my people for a while.
Anatole did state that the entity within him was intent on living life differently than he had before. Again, I want to take full responsibility here that my intent is not to sow distrust between us and Anatole. That's not...
I don't distrust him. I think that it's worth knowing what is there. I want to make sure that the dragon gives and does not take from Anatole.
Well, and if I'm being honest, a little bit selfish, if I'm being real, I don't want another tyrant to be in that area to try to take over again.
Anatole's not a tyrant.
Well, I mean, I meant the dragon, not Anatole. I wasn't speaking about Anatole there. Sorry, I didn't mean to mince my words. I meant, I don't want this dragon to do something and possibly gain control of your friend, because first of all, your friend is a lovely individual, and I don't want to see, well, I don't want to see another problem pop up in the middle of the apocalypse, if I'm being honest.
Understandable. Cress, you know Anatole better than any of us. What's your take on what could come of this?
Well, I have no idea what's in the basin. But I trust Anatole. I think that if this dragon is pushing him to go there, then there's a chance that we can utilize whatever this dragon wants for our own goals of retaking a captured world. I don't think... I mean, look at Finn. You don't trust Finn any less just because Zephrein's rocking around in there.
I didn't know until literally 5 minutes ago.
May I
Let me
ask?
rephrase. I don't trust Finn any less because of that.
Oh, I don't trust Finn any less. I mean,
Yes.
it's Finn.
You mentioned that the dragon, the legend goes, at least, to Rook, that the dragon was slain over the sea. Do you recall... was the body left or retrieved?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Varen. We got told this story when we were little kids.
Understood.
They didn't really tell us where the bodies were kept, if I'm being honest. I thought
I'm
this
only
was all
wondering-
fake until 10 minutes ago.
I'm only wondering because could it be that Varaxis is trying to reunite itself with the body?
The body, the horde, could be a number of things.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that would know that is Anatole. And Varaxes.
I was about to say Anatole's not sure what he'll find.
I guess I could probably lead you there after all of this is taken care of. I grew up in the Ironwoods. I know the Ironwoods like the back of my hand. I used to spend my days scouting out the area, so I know it pretty well. I think, personally, we should take a little bit more time to think about this, because if I'm being honest with you, Chris, I know that this is a dear friend, but in the same day of, 3 hours? I don't know how long I've been asleep. However many hours ago, declared themselves to be the king of the Sand Sea, which is quite a big thing to declare yourself.
I did that before he did.
Didn't know that, but sure. Oh, well, you told me he was the king. I thought that was already a thing. Sorry. So, just... I caution this action because thinking about it from a position of power, right? If I know that my information is coming from an unreliable narrator, then I won't take the action without the grain of salt of knowing that this could be bad.
I think that's wise. I think that this story would be very helpful. I don't think... It doesn't sound like Anatole knew that. So I do think it's wise. And I don't trust this fucking dragon. I trust Anatole, right?
Yes. I just wanted to put my side out there so you understood where I was coming from, because truthfully, the other part of this is I now have to make a decision because of where this is located and where I live to essentially expose my entire people.
Why? What do you mean? Is the volcano where you live?
No, but my people were involved, meaning that we are close to the volcano. Therefore, you can surmise the area of which my settlement is. So there's a level of responsibility I have to take for my people also in this.
Understood. That's respectable.
I trust you all, and I mean that. You saved my life. You all are wonderful people, and you've given me a sense of home that I had been missing for longer than I care to admit. I do worry about where we're leading. The fact that we are amassing an army to attack a location which, granted, I do want to get into, but I guess my hesitance comes from being new. I trust you, Cress, but I don't know where Anatole or his compatriots, their brains are at. I don't know what they're thinking, and that scares me to a degree.
I think this is a matter of trust, right? Not in each other, not in Anatole, but in the entity within Anatole. Do we trust that?
I'm happy to tell him the story if you allow me to admit some details I don't want getting out there. Like my people's involvement, things like that.
I think that's entirely up to you. But you certainly have our respect for the secrets of your people.
Thank you. Is this acceptable, or?
You wish to speak to Anatole?
Well, I'd like to know what Grass's thoughts are, as this is your... You brought this to me, and so I figure it's only fair to tell you what I'm going to say.
Press looks confused and a little hurt. They turn back to their healing potions. I'm not gonna tell you what to say, Taruk. That Elder Taruk, your responsibilities are your own, and I understand that.
Right. I look to see if Finn has any comment or anything he wants to add.
I trust Anatol's intentions. I trust Cress. This conversation stemmed from me communicating about something I did not understand. And I apologize for that. Cress, I apologize to you.
No, I'm glad you brought it up personally.
Saruk, speak to who you think you need to speak to. I'm not anyone to tell you otherwise. But
Finn, may I ask you something?
you may.
Does, sorry, above table, name of your dragon is?
Zafreen.
Zafreen. Do you think Zafreen is able to communicate with anyone besides yourself?
I have not been given any indication that that is possible. The image I have is that Zafreen is locked within a stone cell. Chained,
Understood.
bound by the runes of my forebears.
Then I agree. I think our best approach is to leverage the connection that Anatole has with Veraxis. Veraxis. Maybe we can try to find out more about their intentions. If nothing else, for peace of mind.
Yeah.
That said, we do have a more time-sensitive task in front of us. Let us not forget.
To our allies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somewhat in the spirit of that refocusing on the issue at hand, Axne, you guys don't hear Axne coming because a cloud giant doesn't step very loudly. But you all become aware of a looming presence amongst you as Axne kind of drifts silently amongst your company and says, I just want you all to know we have arrived in Damarel.
Thank you, Axne.
I'll be making Master Pascal aware, and then I understand that you will need the mounts prepared to land. I will get them prepared in the meantime as well.
I'll come with you.
Thank you. I appreciate the assistance. Okay. Pascal is notified. Anatole is awoken. Mounts are prepped. Cress, you assist Axne in saddling and bridling the hippogriffs. Zin and Chimney accompany you, and as you guys are kind of, in the preparation, you're able to look down and you can see that sure enough you are hovering above the town of Damarel. You see it from you see the ruins of the town from a bird's eye view. A view that Finn and Cress are not unfamiliar with. This is the view that you saw when you took the fractal. But for Farron and Taruk, I guess Farron's also seen the town from this side as well. But Taruk, this is a new town for you. As you look out, you see the ruined harbor. In fact, why don't we hop over to the Damarel town map for old time's sake?
Yeah.
Let's hop over to the Damarel town map. It's been a minute. How does this sound?
As Cress is helping Axne with the mounts, they will ask him, Is there anything you'd like from the ground? Anything I can bring you?
Exney thinks for a moment and then says, "There is one thing I am rather curious about. I have not read much on this town, but it has been reported to me that that there was once a distiller of very fine liquors. If you could perhaps come upon a bottle or any sample, I would certainly love to experience it for research purposes."
Why? For research purposes.
For science.
Science.
I'll see what I can do, Axney. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you guys see? Are you guys on the town map?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just get the fractal out of here, so you can see it in all its glory. It's the ruined town. You can see there is It was once a seaside town that, in the tidal wave, got absolutely destroyed. The docks, the harbor, all kind of mashed up along the hillside. A break wall that extended out did seem to hold for the most part, though there are some deep fissures and cracks in it. Cress, and for the rest of you, as you come in, there is a large structure out in the bay, the fractal, in its dormant form. Now, currently, a large spire with a sort of metallic skirt that creates a kind of like triangle, kind of like imagine like a giant spike, like a giant D4, just kind of sitting there, but conical. You guys, the Sky Citadel flies above it. You guys mount up and descend, if that's cool with you guys, or is there anything else you'd like to do? Any reactions or anything to take in?
I was just gonna say, I think since you all have already seen the city, I think it's a moment where Taruk stops and is staring at the city, and if anybody looks at him, he's analyzing the city, where social gathering parts are. Even though it's a ruined town, he's looking at where people gather, and you can tell he's assessing what this town is and where everything is. Like, kind of the akin to a leader of a town visiting a town he doesn't know, understanding the place he doesn't understand.
Yeah. Taking notes on the infrastructure kind of thing. Yeah. All right.
Cress will sidle up to him. That's Bistro Daddy's place. I gotta stop there for science.
Oh, do they do science at the bistro? I've never heard the term, so I guess it's a science place, right?
No, I'm being silly. I have to pick up some liquor there for Axney.
Are we just putting in orders for liquor? Because I would like quite a lot after this week.
Yeah, we'll see what we can find. Get you some too.
Of course. Chris, I do want to say, I trust your friend. I'm not trying to.
I'm used to not being trusted. It's okay.
No. It's not. Oh God, I can't even say this correctly. It's not trusting you. It's.
Rook, as you struggle to find the words, the call comes out. Anatole cries out, "All right, Cress, Taruk, let's go."
We'll talk later. I know that I trust you, and it's not that at all. I promise.
Thank you, Elder Taruk.
You can just call me Taruk. You don't have to. The Elder thing is a title that I hate, so you can just call me Taruk.
Right.
And I feel like Taruk does like a pat on the back, but again, big hand just claps you on the back, and he's like, I'm still figuring out the whole. I'm sorry, gods, and he just like walks over to the mountain, and is like, oh, gods, okay, and like
The hippogriff is just looking down at you.
I'm sorry. I'm
Kind of
sorry.
blinks, looks over to Chimney, is blinking, like, really? Again?
Oh no.
Crawls on and is just like, I'm gonna be okay.
As you exhale, there's a slight like shiver as the wings flap, and you find you catch your breath, Taruk, as Bluesy takes off. The rest of the mounts take off. The party descends from the Sky Citadel, from the breezeways of the Sky Citadel, down, 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 hundreds of feet, onto the ruined streets of Damarel. As you descend, Cress, Finn, Taruk, because you mentioned it, you notice the town is quite empty. There's not a lot of people walking around. It seems eerily quiet. And as you guys drift, you don't see any fish folk. You don't see anything of your companions. And as the hippogriffs come to a landing, we'll say outside of Bistro Daddy's Tavern. Is that where you guys are thinking of going?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys can go where you like.
Why not?
I
Straight to the
it was
liquor.
called
City for
out.
sure.
It was called out.
Just listening to the music and going,
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
descend downwards, and you land. Streets are empty. But as you dismount,
Sorry, I don't have the right. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, you good. As you dismount, the emerging from the tavern, you see a familiar face. Red hair, rust-colored hair, kind of golden flecks on the skin. As Gron steps out.
hey,
Hey! Well, I was wondering how the rest of you had gotten along. Looks like you're doing quite well for yourself.
yeah, we found Anatole, we found Pascal. Just backing up, Crest did tell Anatole about their allies, so he is aware that Gron has left the Brotherhood of the Gilded Cannon, has like renounced it.
Got it.
Correct.
Confirmed. Yeah.
Just making sure that
Yeah,
I felt
cool.
like that happened on their flight, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. We'll say it's been established for you. Gron, to his credit, doesn't seem to notice Anatole right away as he runs up towards you, claps a hand on your shoulder for just a moment, thinks, fuck it, and takes a big hug. We missed you. Sorry, when we saw the ship coming in, we told everyone to just hide. We weren't sure what was coming along.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That is the Sky Citadel.
Well, that's rather impressive vessel, I must say. You look over and you see emerging from the tavern, the ruined tavern, a large, portly black man, Bistro Daddy himself, coming over from the grotto. His tavern keeper's shirt still somehow managed to wear that even in the post-apocalyptic. The apron is a little bit torn, a little bit bloodstained. Sleeves are still rolled up, but he looks well as he comes out, and he's got his arms spread out wide. Pulls Finn in for a hug. Finn, you rarely meet humans that match you in stature, but be sure Daddy is still shorter than you. And then a hyperactive little voice jumps out, as well as Pitt, Alcthrop Pitt from Pitt's Potions, halfling companion, also a member of Gron's Grotto, emerges. And you can see the rest of the folks from the grotto are also here. There's Rozzy, the fish folk, as well as Jinx, the Tengu.
And Rozzy, does Rozzy look? Cress will go through. All right, this gesture to the Kenku. This is Jinx. This is Bistro Daddy. This is his place. This is Pitt, who makes potions. And then this is Gron, obviously, sort of brother of my late husband. Rozzy, is Rozzy out of the cage? Is Rozzy like talking?
Yeah. Rozzy is not talking, but out of the cage, kind of arm interlocked with Jinx as the Tengu and the fish folk and this fishy humanoid. Adam, you can kind of think of them as kind of like Kuatoa,
Gotcha.
right? Arms linked in with this Tengu. Waves, you can see the eyes are bright. It looks much more alert and present, does Rozzy.
Incredible.
And smiles wide at your party. Nudges Jinx and says, and unfortunately Jinx Jinx is as a Tengu mimics, so you hear Jinx mimic back in perfect mimicry of Cress. Incredible.
And Cress will introduce everybody. I
You
think.
said something. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just there is Cress is like fighting the feeling of not being trusted and that feeling of like in the same day being told that they have a new home and then feeling like they were back at Zeladiel with people not trusting them. And they're sort of like fighting that sensation and like reminding themselves that these are friends, and that they have friends, and they're just like overly bubbly, you know, like just
Yeah.
trying their best.
Yeah. You had mentioned in your introduction of Bistro Daddy, you'd said that he was the tavern. This was his tavern, and he kind of not being. I think Daddy, not knowing you well enough, just kind of claps you on the shoulder and steers you around and starts pulling you towards the tavern door, and going, "Well, I'm glad you remember that it's my tavern. Perhaps you can settle a dispute for us. This pirate has moved in and now claims that it's his tavern."
God damn it. Magnus?
As you walk in, your party all kind of trailing into the tavern. Magnus, sure enough, is sitting at a table, going, "Aye, you abandoned it. In the apocalypse you did. So, by laws of finders keepers, it's mine. It's my name on the sign. What sign be that?"
Magnus, can you even brew?
Takes no skill in brewing to own a tavern.
Come on.
You see what I've been dealing with. As you all look around, I will say, Finn, I don't know if you've also kind of been worried about it, and maybe Taruk has been as well. Nixus is not present. You don't see the hobgoblin or the bugbears.
I think Finn is much like his first time here, standing in the back of the room, kind of soaking in the tense feelings and associating all of the responsibility onto himself. He's doing a lot of like nodding, but he's not present.
Yeah, Pitt comes up to you, Finn, and he's like, "Hey, you're looking good, big guy." All right.
So are you.
Yeah. Hey, I heard about Dex. Just want to say I'm sorry about that. And Pitt, being completely unaware, just sorry. You know how people do
just
that.
Another weight on the shoulder.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
fucked up. Yeah. He just. No, I'm sorry.
She was a good kid. She's a good kid.
She was.
Yeah, you made some new friends. It says, "You want to introduce me?" And Crest, Finn, Pitt kind of asks you to introduce, and then just starts talking to Chimney without you introducing, doing that thing like people will do at parties, where asks you to do something, then completely ignores you in the end, and next thing you know, you're still standing by yourself.
Yeah, Finn will just kind of lazily like put the hand extended over to the group and step to the side.
I think Taruk in this moment, I think you all see Taruk's defense happen, which is I'm just an old man. And he is very much using his staff as a cane instead of a staff that you've seen him wield as a powerful weapon. He is using it as a cane, and you can see he's supporting himself on it, and is very much this quiet old man in the party for this little bit.
Yeah. Gron, the Nephilim, walks up to you, Taruk, and says, "Oh, Gramps, come, sit down. Here, take a load off."
Thank you so much. That's so kind. And he kind of
Imagine
hobbles
being up and
over.
about at your age like this. You're a legend, I tell you.
Oh, you are too kind. Well, we have traveled far to get here, and I'm just hoping to help, if I can, of course.
Well, there's a lot to do around here, that's for certain. Farron, as you're
Yes.
coming in, anything that you notice or do, anyone you in particular looking to interact with? You've got all the folks at the grotto who Farron knows none of them. There's Gron, who Farron knows briefly. There's Magnus, who Farron doesn't trust. So anyone you want to talk to? Anyone close that you've been missing?
I choose Finn. I'm gonna go over and just hang by Finn. Just kind of post up in the corner and share social anxiety together. It's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
It is.
Tulka hobbles over and sits right between us.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably how Finn noticed you coming over first. Is as he's kind of standing on the side watching everything. Finn, you become aware of a little lick at your fingertips, and you look down, and there's Tulka just kind of stretching upwards and assuming a sit as Farron crosses the room and joins you.
So there's this
Just nod.
giant wolf padding through. People are like, "Whoa!"
Anatole, kind of looking over the group, but his eyes, as you guys can see, as he's kind of walked into the room, he doesn't make any sort of announcement of himself, but he's watching all of the interactions closely. All of you can kind of see that, and as I think Pitt's probably going to be the first one to come over and engage him. You can see they're quite cordial. He's got a charm about him. Does the King of the Sandsea when he wants to put it on, and I will say Gron's reaction to Anatole, I'm going to postpone a bit here. As Gron notices, kind of looks him over, and looks back to you, Cress. And you can see that there's kind of a questioning glance at you, but then says, "There's a lot to fill you in on. There's been some
Likewise.
developments." Okay, do you want to go first?
We
Can we have a little table in the back corner, maybe?
Sure.
For a party?
Yeah,
Party's
party
sitting
and
down,
the
so.
party, Gron. Yeah, Gron has been kind of moving between the bar and Taruk and grabbing him some drinks as he's coming back with a drink for Taruk. Taruk, what did you order?
Oh, whatever. What an ale, like a meat, like a honey mead type.
He comes over and says, "I honestly don't know what it is. There's none of the kegs are labeled anymore, and honestly, it could be mostly salt water, but
Well, drinks
It's what we've got.
Salt water, but it's fine.
hey, cherish that. There's
That's
not very
not
much of
good
it
for
left."
you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Fully
true.
isn't. It's fully what he ordered, but he's just lying for fun. Just doing that old grandpa, like, "I'm kidding, of course," and like claps him over the shoulder.
Charming. So,
I think the Sky Citadel is piloted by a sky giant named Axne. I don't know if you're aware of them. I know you've been around. Crest did laugh when Garan was like, "Wow, you've been around so long to to Taruk because they know that
Yeah.
Gron's thousands of years old.
Yeah,
They're
Gron
just
is
like,
very old. Gron is very old.
So there's a chance you might know of Axne, and then Anatole, who I know I've told you about, but Anatole's situation is very similar to Finn's, which might give you an idea that there are shenanigans afoot.
Gron says, in a rather kind of uncharacteristically chilly tone, "We will have to talk about him soon." Anything else that transpired for you all?
I think Cress, the like bubbliness and the attempts to navigate a space where they deeply want to feel accepted.
Sure.
I think at that chill, they sort of shrink in on themselves. Did I do? There. Cuthbert is looking into dreams. He's trying to see if he can master territorial impulses. Wait. We want to pursue the Black Reef for Farron and for Taruk and Gron. Did I do something wrong?
Gron. So it's the party and Gron over here at the moment. Anatole kind of mingling with some of the other folks still. Gron looks at the party and he says, I've got some old prejudices I need to keep in check, is all.
Then you should feel the same about me, Gron. All things considered.
All things considered, you're right.
Right.
Your friend is, your friend is your friend. Your friend is your friend.
And Cress, you didn't do anything wrong. I did.
What?
None of this is your fault. Farron, Taruk, and I trust you.
I'm sorry, what are we even talking about?
Yeah, I'm
Gron.
confused.
Yeah, the two of you confused while the other three are kind of looking at each other, and Gron goes, Cress, you are my sibling and I trust you. There's just things about your friend that I don't trust.
Why?
It's... Okay. Let me tell you all what's transpired here. I think we need a little bit of a shift in mood. Did you all know that there were prisoners aboard the Fractal? And he points at the ship.
What?
Because they are no longer in their cells. But
Fuck.
no, this is a good thing.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh.
They are quite pleased at being set free and rescued, it seems. And they would like to thank you themselves.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very lost.
So they were prisoners on the vessel that I
That
assume we
one
did not know
big-
about.
It's a big one.
Yeah,
It's the one we
Yeah.
attacked. The one
yeah,
that I
big
dragged
triangle.
everyone into.
yeah.
Big triangle in the sky.
Gotcha. Okay. I was wondering what that was.
And so,
Oh, it's on the floor now. It's a big triangle on the beach now.
so,
Looks like what that was.
Yeah.
so let's put it all on the table, right? There were prisoners we were not aware of. They found the way out, and now they are grateful for being set free.
Apparently, as the machine lost its power, whatever was imprisoning them lost its power. So it took them a little bit, but they all managed to make their way to the central chamber, which is where Magnus and I were quite surprised to meet them. The vast majority were rather friendly and appreciative. There were some that were not, and some of those, unfortunately, did manage to escape. But the ones that are there, they are very, very grateful to be alive.
Well, that's
You should
lovely.
meet them. And Cress, you recall, I mean, I will just say, I'm not going
Is
to
it
tell you
Rio
what you
Vera?
do with these We'll see.
That voice. I wonder.
You do recall that you yourself were a prisoner on this ship, so you know that the ship had scooped up prisoners.
Yeah, it's interesting because what Cress remembers is an illithid vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And they remember it being much smaller than the fractal. And so there is this realization that where Pim and Cress and her name was also Gilda. And Gilda, not baby Gilda.
That's Hilda, right?
We're the only ones to
Yeah.
or Hilda?
Hilda's baby. Yeah.
Hilda's the baby.
Okay. Okay, so the cleric Gilda. Those were the three to leave the vessel. And then obviously Ramas. But realizing that it was a bigger vessel here, I think just compounding the feelings of like guilt and uncertainty is the realization that in this timeline, there were people that Crest didn't save in the Frog Grove. And like they're trying their best to be like just happy because this is good news, but there's also just the weight of that guilt.
Yeah.
Right. So their prisoners are free, and that's good. That's good.
They are free. And they're a rather eclectic bunch.
Well, where are they?
Ironically, they've remained aboard the Fractal. It's simple enough home for them. And that way David can keep track of his NPCs.
They live here.
Yeah. All the Sims are here.
Well, all right.
Come, I'll introduce you. As
You will, yeah, I think Finn will just. You all go. I'll stay here and make sure everything's all right here.
I could stay. You were
No,
involved.
please. Please.
I have no clue who these people are, so
Neither do I.
Gron grabs you at the arm, Finn, and says, "Nonsense, you have to come along. They want to thank you. You saved them. And besides, let the Elder rest. It's a long hike to the Fractal."
Yes, I'm very sure our elder needs rests.
I think as Finn's arm gets grabbed, I think Shuruk kind of looks at him and gives him like a little sly wink at the rest statement.
Yeah, I think Finn just kind of rolls his eyes and kind of, matching the cold of Gron, kind of quickly pulls his arm away.
Okay.
You mentioned other things transpired. What else has happened to the town while we were gone?
Nothing else happened to the town. Koku's not Koku. Toto.
I think I killed Koku.
Yeah, Koku's
The other
Cook was
the
Baba.
other consonant vowel name. He's been hard at work trying to work on building the town. the most interesting thing has been this dispute between Daddy and Magnus over ownership of the tavern, and then Nixus is off doing some sort of recon. She decided that her talents were wasted here, waiting for you all to return, and that she would be more useful if she were to go out and hopefully not get herself killed. But
Is she looking for the crab?
no,
Her
I
old
think
vessel?
she went. No, I think she went to do a little bit of recon on the Black Reef.
That's good. Taruk, I think Cress starts to say something, and then, yeah, there's that feeling of it not being their place, and they shake their head. Sorry, Gron, we should go to the
Let's take a walk. So Gron, Cress. Who else is going? Finn, Farron?
Sure.
Finn, Taruk, you
Yeah.
staying behind in the tavern?
Yeah, I'm staying behind the tavern.
Okay.
Begin rest.
I think Taruk's goal of the tavern is essentially this is gonna be very deceptive of him, but I think his whole thing is he's going to listen to what they say when the rest of the party isn't in the room, and they just think he's an old man. Like, essentially, he's listening into conversations, seeing if he can pick up if they're
Eavesdropping.
plotting stuff. If they're, eavesdropping. Yeah.
Zin and Chimney will stay with you, Taruk. Pascal and Anatole will follow with Cress and Finn.
And Farron.
Cress and Farron.
And Tolka.
And Tolka. Tolka's padding along. Gron pulls you ahead of the group a little bit, Cress. Somewhat out of earshot of everybody else. And he says, and as he kind of looks back, you can see his eyes lingering on Anatole as he kind of gives out a bit of a sigh. I'm feeling a lot of emotion right now, Cress, and I see you are too.
I'm sorry.
You have nothing to apologize for. I went from, I don't know, shocked, dismayed, angry, terrified, all of it. I have... You can see his jaw clench. Something catches in his throat. I have history with the incarnation of the Red Dragon. Tosodai, my companion, was slain by the last one.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should never. I'm so sorry.
You didn't know. You didn't know. It's not something I want to talk about. It was a bitter, very... Red's a powerful Cress. And dangerous. All of them are, but... Finn, I trust. I just need to get to know your friend, but I cannot imagine Cuthbert is going to take well to a red incarnation. You said he was working on finding some way of handling the curse of being a dragon. And I hope that he finds a way.
Is that it then? Is being territorial what it means to be a dragon? Is that it?
That's a question for the progenitor of dragons. It's a question I would very much like an answer to myself, as someone who's lost a dear friend to this same curse, to this same struggle. I don't want you to go through what I've gone through, Crest. That's why I'm worried about your other friend here.
He's met Cuthbert.
And maybe you get lucky. Maybe
I never get lucky.
Anna squeezes your hand. Says, "Come now. I almost take that personally. I know I'm a poor consolation."
No, that's not what I meant. I seemed to carry, I don't know, carry destruction with me wherever I go. And I don't want to carry that to you, or to Taruk, or Finn.
So you guys are walking towards the fractal. You're walking through ruined streets. You see the bow of a ship crash through the front of a shop. You see splintered wood, debris littering everything, everywhere. And Gron says, "Cress, I don't think destruction is something any of us are unfamiliar with. But maybe we all have a little bit of destructive tendencies with us, but as you are all approaching the fractal, you can see in the hole faces." Gron points to them, and a few fish folk that are also cleaning up the streets as Gron has waved them out as you have all been walking down the street. He says, "You've also given people some hope, too. This town that has seen true destruction might beg to differ with your assessment.
And Cress thinks of that day and the loss of Dex. And they're caught between wanting to disagree and feeling like it would be disingenuous. So they just nod.
Gron, feeling like continuing to hold your hand, Cress. The two of you continue your brief walk hand in hand up towards the fractal. Farron, Finn, the two of you watch along this walk through town as Gron and Cress kind of scooted up. Gron clearly trying to pull Cress ahead for a bit of a private dialogue. The two of you, any reaction or discussion between the two of you or with any of your NPCs before we move from the scene? Then, as your group approaches the fractal, you see, as Gron promised, an eclectic group of people. You see about 6 individuals. You see a Strix, a dwarf, catfolk, a minotaur, a gripply, and the last one, Farron and Finn, you definitely do not know. Cress, this is a very rare heritage. You're the only one familiar in the party that would be familiar with this heritage. a Kashirishi. Small little pygmy rhino folk with glowing horns. So,
Cute.
a rather eclectic group. And as you all approach the fractal, you can see series of ladders and nets have been installed along the outside for folks to navigate to and to navigate on and off of it. But we'll say you guys meet these folks in the den of the fractal as they all look around and they're all beaming. And as you all come in, they're coming forward and unfortunately someone invading your space, touching at your hands and offering thanks. You see the Strix. Thank you very much. Are you Cress?
Yes, what's your name? Hi there.
I am Shivash. It's nice to meet you. You see a very imagine sort of like a macaw. Like macaw wings, slightly kind of humanoid. It's strange. Strix are kind of an odd thing, but imagine like if a macaw were a person, somewhere like an animorph that was kind of like halfway through. Bright colored feathers. Then you see a dwarf with a tattoo, kind of on the neck of a hand, a fist. My man Finn, can I get a society check, please?
Sure. That's a 2. Use a hero point, and that is a 1. So I know nothing.
Ooh, unfortunate. Yeah, you don't know this person. You see a dwarf with kind of reddish hair, older, a tattoo of a fist on the neck. He comes over and he says, "Oh, thank you all so much. You are the heroes we've heard so much about from your companion here," gesturing to Gron.
That's very sweet.
Name's Algren Bronzefist. Good to meet you.
Great to meet you as well. I'm so glad you're okay.
Finn, actually, no. Yeah. The cat folk comes over. You see a sort of, what are they? The squishy face, like, Himalayans. With kind of like a blondish kind of fur kind of on the outside, kind of going from kind of like a white into like a yellowy kind of cream at the tips. Startling feature are the eyes are both bright pink.
Pink?
On this bright pink.
Amazing.
And does a very kind of rather regal bow to you all and says, "My name's Pink Whiskey."
Nice to meet you, Pink Whiskey.
The Minotaur comes up, rather hulking individual, muscly. You can see numerous tattoos on the body. The hair is kind of twisted in braids, kind of pulled away from the face. The horns have a couple of chips in them, but a few like bits of metal kind of like drilled and fixed into them. Says, "Nice to meet you. The name's Ramir Ironskin."
We've met your father. He's he's gonna be so happy to hear you're okay.
My father?
Yes.
He's alive.
Vieira. Yes. Yeah. He's on the other side of the dunes.
Big hands grab you by the shoulder and kind of pick you up. Your feet are just kind of, "You mean it? He's alive! My tribe is alive, my people!"
Your people, yes, they've been displaced by a sandworm, but they are safe in the Iron Hills.
Oh, it throws you up in the air like a child almost, and like catches you, swings you around. "Oh, truly, you are a good friend to the Astorians. Would you like a place on my crew? I'm a captain, you know."
It's a very generous offer. I'd be more than useless. You're very sweet.
We'll talk about it. I cannot imagine you're being genuine. You see the Gripply individual you look over and you see a gripply individual dressed in very simple tribal kind of clothing, a loincloth, maybe a couple of little like feathered bracers. Says this one doesn't talk much. He only says the one thing, so that's what we call him as their name. You look at the gripply, who looks back at you, and the eyes kind of blink. Says TikTok.
That's amazing.
So it's just TikTok.
Their TikTok. Gosh.
Hi TikTok.
You...
Don't get banned.
Yeah, for now. We'll see if the government bans this character's name.
Oh no.
And then, kind of waddling up towards your group is the last member, the Keshrishi. It says, "Hello, my name is Marble. It's nice to meet all of you. And thank you so much for saving us."
It's a pleasure.
You are all heroes. Truly, I never imagined any of us would be alive if it were not for you.
Chris looks at Finn.
I don't think he is. He just nods and glad you're all safe. He's very much not accepting the moniker of hero any time soon.
Well, Marble, Shivash, Olgren, Pink, Ramir, and TikTok. If you want to tell us about where you were taken from, if we can maybe discover as much news as possible about places where you came from, see about maybe getting you where you want to be.
At that, there's like looks being shared, and even TikTok, like you can see the eyes just kind of blink, 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 and then kind of like widen as you mentioned being returned home potentially. The pupils dilate, right? A big smile on the face. Marble goes, "We would love nothing more. That. Are you serious?"
We can figure it out. Yeah, I mean, there are. The Ironwood is working on ships. We can see what happened.
They run over. It runs over and just kind of like almost takes you out of the knees.
Oh God.
Chris is adept at finding hope and giving it to people. And they're more than capable of following through on it.
We'll do our best. We'll see what we can do.
Do any of these freed prisoners look like, I don't know, warriors, fighters?
Oh yeah, I would say so. Ramir, very much so. TikTok, very much so. TikTok kind of moves, Farron easily enough for you to recognize, moves with the amphibious grace of a hunter. But yeah, I would say amongst them, it does look like a few of them might be competent in a fight.
Okay. Farron will hop in and just say, "There are things we need to do before leaving this place. Perhaps you can help us in exchange for a ride home."
Whatever you want. My skills are not very useful in a fight, but if I can help in some way, I'll try. But I know a couple of these guys know their way around a weapon. And Ramir kind of like cracks the knuckles. Yeah, I've been in a scrap or two in my day.
Well then, we have a scrap for you.
At that point, we're going to leave the party with these rescued prisoners in the fractal. And we're going to just briefly check in with Taruk. Taruk, you've been in the tavern watching the dialogues unfolding amongst its present clientele, which is not much. And when I say clientele, it's not like anything is being served. It is a post-apocalyptic tavern. Most things are dead. Most energy is dedicated towards putting things back in order. And as you are watching, as Magnus tries to explain the finer points of Finders Keepers to Daddy, the threshold is darkened as a shadow looms over it, and stepping into the tap room, you see a hobgoblin flanked by 2 bugbears. A hobgoblin whose face has been branded into your mind as she laughed as her airship took to the sky with your friends on deck screaming for help. You see Nixus step in to the tavern. And that right there is where we're going to call our session for tonight.
Woohoo!
And we will pick up with Taruk's reaction in a couple of weeks. Guys,
Oh my
here
goodness.
we go. Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down. This tavern has seen a lot of downs being gone.
Oh
A lot of downs have
Downs
gone in this
being
tavern. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
On that eloquent note, let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. Let's start with our friend Adam.
You're muted.
You're muted, Sir Adam.
What's up? I'm Adam. I didn't unmute my mic when I said this the first time. But hi, I'm Adam, otherwise known as Mr. Adup. That's MR-ADDUP. He, they pronouns. You can find me anywhere online under that name. I am a TTRPG player, a cosplayer, and a voice actor. You can find me here playing in this game, and you can find me over at Tales Archived, where pretty soon, where I'll be playing in a Pirates game. You gotta watch to find out what character I'm playing. And my character's favorite smell is still the smell of rain.
For the smell of rain.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. Button.
Hello, my name is Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media, and when I'm not playing Cressida, who has gotten to be happier recently, but that time is over, you can watch me in New World Rebellion, where I play Amanita. And when I'm not on this channel, you can find me on Tales Archived in the Known Realms Telesh campaign, where I play Echinacea, who is a ball of stress, and a redacted character in Pirates of the Dual Seas. And you can catch me on Numinous Productions in A Haunting Beloved. It is an all-disabled cast exploring scoliosis and love and disability with the Bluebeard's Bride TTRPG.
Nice.
That's awesome. That sounds awesome. Definitely go check that out. Guys, speaking of things to check out, Alec, tell the people what they've won.
Hi everybody, my name is Alec. You can find me all places on the internet at Tales Archived. I played Finn Reese tonight, the reason why Cress is no longer feeling joy today. And you can find me here playing Finn Reese every other Saturday, as well as the Archivist in Known Realms Telesh, and I am the captain of Pirates of the Dual Seas, where Adam plays L, Button plays Nori, Anna plays Miso, and David plays Jin. You guys have said it like for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think we're
fuck
hiding it now.
I've never said L.
Yes, you have. You literally did at the beginning of the session.
No, I didn't.
Pretty sure you did.
No,
Anyway, it's out there now.
Session out. There's a session out on here.
there is a session out.
There's a session out.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take over here. Hello, I'm Hannah. I've been playing Farron Balmyar. And when I'm not playing Farron, you can catch me playing Paminia Neckle on our sister campaign, Sansi Saga. And of course, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, please go check out Tales Archived. We're all in the Pirates of the Dual Seas campaign, and it's really fun and goofy. Not Pathfinder, D&D 5e stuff. Check it out.
Check it out. All right. And guys, I've been your GM this evening, and my name is David. My pronouns are he, him, and you can catch me here as the game master of this game, as well as Sansi Saga, as well as New World Rebellion, all Heroes of Histaeria campaigns in the same world at the same time. So if you want to see that craziness and hecticness, check it out. And then you can also catch me Thursdays. I make maps here on the channel. We had a little bit of lag with our pilot episode. We're going to be working on some fixes there, but yeah, check it out if you want to see me make some maps and hang out. And then I'm also over at Tales Archived, and I am in the Known Realms Telesh campaign as this isn't the voice. As Whistle, the Hobgoblin Fighter. Every Sunday.
I'm Whistle.
Whistle. And you can also catch me in the Pirates of the Dual Siege campaign. But that's me. And this has been us, and you will see us again in 2 weeks. Check us out next week with the next session of Sansi Saga. See what problems they've gotten into, but then make sure to check us out in 2 weeks for the next session of this one and see how things unfold for Taruk. All right.
We shall see.
Have a great night, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.